Oh God of all creation, bless this our land and nation.
We have seen what's happening on the social media, on the KEDASA main official group. There is a disconnect, and people don't seem to understand the main purpose of KEDASA. Even they don't even seem to understand what KEDASA as an acronym stands for.
I was explaining to you what happened in Eastern Cape.
Yes.
It was a total chaos because, I mean, if there was a KEDASA which was working in Eastern Cape, yes, the embassy could have contacted the KEDASA in Eastern Cape
office.
Yeah, you know, the president is coming to East London for 2-3 days, and we did 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 within our Kenyan community who can provide these things. But what was happening? It was the people in Eastern Cape, the Kenyans who are there, were dealing with KEDASA.
The place where we were born.
Good evening, Hamjambo. My name is Peter. I'm the current KEDASA treasurer, and tonight or this evening, I'm privileged to have leaders who are in KEDASA or contesting for KEDASA leadership. With me here is Alan Kago. Far end, I have Paul Kagiri, and we are privileged to have Pastor Musili. So tonight or this evening, we are going to discuss issues surrounding the welfare of Kenyans, challenges, and right now I would like to welcome AK Kago.
Yes.
To introduce, how are you?
Thank you very much for having me.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Kuru Kago. I live in Bloemfontein, but I'm also part of a Kenyan business community in Cape Town, and that's why I'm here for this week. And the organizers of the podcast, they told me about it, and then I said, yeah, let me come, we talk about this KEDASA thing.
Okay, asante. Yeah. Karibu sana.
Asante. I'm Kuru Kago, residing in Bloemfontein, also working in Cape Town, running a company by the name Team AK Investment. And at the same time, I'm also in the hospitality industry, running a pub here in Cape Town with the name Legends in Summer Greens. Yes, we are here, and I'm running for the chairmanship in the Free State KEDASA region. We're having the elections on Monday, the 25th of September. Yeah, wish me luck. Yeah.
Far end, we have Mr. Paul Kagiri, mwanabiashara,
yes,
in the insurance industry. Yes. Karibu sana to the show.
Thank you so much, Mr. Peter. Yes. Yeah, like he said, my name is Paul Kagiri. I reside here in Cape Town. I'm on the financial industry. So, yeah, we are there to do business, and now we are the leaders of Cape Town. We want to take our region and our community to the next level and make sure that they are good to go. Jambo sana viewers. My name is Paul Mwangi Kagiri. I reside in Cape Town, here in Western Cape. I'm a businessman. I'm on the financial industry, and I'm one of the leaders in this region. Currently, I'm on the NEC membership of the region.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. My name is Moses Muragore Karun, well known as Morathings in the region of Western Cape, South Africa. I'm the director of BFS Financial. I'm currently vying for the chairmanship in Western Cape, KEDASA, and I'm looking forward towards your votes. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
Okay. The last but not the least, we have our spiritual leader, one of our spiritual leader, and I must say that we had invited Pastor Robert, but he was unavailable. Pastor Musili, karibu kwenye show.
Asante.
Yes,
PK.
Introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, PK.
Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Asante.
And good evening, everyone. As you have heard, my name is Pastor Musili, a resident of Cape Town, South Africa, and I'm privileged to be here.
Okay,
Thank
asante.
you for the opportunity.
Well, we know what's happening, and that's the reason behind this podcast. We have seen what's happening on the social media, on the KEDASA main official group. There is a disconnect, and people don't seem to understand the main purpose of KEDASA. Even they don't even seem to understand what KEDASA as an acronym stands for. So I think to break the ice, I would like to start by giving what's the meaning of KEDASA, so that at least you the viewer, wherever you're watching us from, at least you can understand what is KEDASA. KEDASA stands for Kenya Diaspora in South Africa, and it's actually an NPO. It's registered under registration number 098986 as an NPO. So I'll just give a brief description of what it is. It's actually a community-based organization. So as KEDASA, it should be an umbrella body that oversees the interests of Kenyans. And at this juncture, I would like to welcome Pastor Musili to at least align his thoughts and views what KEDASA should be doing for Kenyans and some of the challenges we are having. Pastor.
Thank you. Thank you so much, PK. Well, and thank you for explanation. Much as have interacted with the wananchi hapa. Some of them, they don't know what KEDASA is supposed to do or its functions. But I would like to say that I've looked at the document, I've inquired and done my own research about the KEDASA as an organization. And when you go to the grassroots, as I've said, I work with people in the ground. There's a lot of expectation from KEDASA. We have had issues that we feel the ambassador, the Kenya High Commission Pretoria is so far from us. And we want to feel the vision, the mission of KEDASA on the grassroots. We have issues, we do people direct, we receive phone calls every other day. We burn midnight oil trying to solve Kenyan issues. And I believe that KEDASA should come as it states in its document on the vision, and we thank God for the founder of KEDASA. When you go through the document, it's a very beautiful document that when it put into, is becoming practical to the people, then it's a document that can help us. We have expectation for KEDASA to come to the grassroots, to be experience for the grassroots and understand the needs of our people.
Thank you so much, Pastor. Now, I would like to shift a little bit and get your sentiment or your comment on this. We have seen the current government, the current regime in Kenya. They have quite an interest in diaspora. And that's why we have had and we have read there is the bill of the welfare tax that's going to be introduced. And we are required to register. Do you think this whole process of government trying to get the Kenyans in diaspora to be organized and registered, do you think it's going to meet the expectation of what the Kenyan government through the diaspora desk that might be introduced in the High Commission in various countries? And we have had this a pilot project in US, UK, and South Africa. What is your take on that?
Thank you for the question, PK.
Yes.
And my take is that Kenyans, not only in South Africa, every Kenyan living outside the borders of Kenya should have a voice when the government's making decisions, whatever they're articulating for. And I believe KEDASA is one of the platforms that can be used to put our voice with the government.
Yes.
Because people are going through a lot of things here. We know it's a duty of the government to collect taxes and to do that. But what I'm saying here is that we need to have somebody who can represent the needs of the people in the diaspora.
Hold on that thought. Mr. Alan, I'll come back to you. Mr. Alan Kago, now with this issue of taxation, I'm sure you're a taxpayer in South Africa. You pay tax. Now, don't you think having a double taxation, what is your take? The Kenyan government bringing the issue of being taxed, paying welfare tax, and you're still paying tax here?
Actually, I still want to see how they're going to be able to implement it.
Yes.
It's not something which have been done before, but I think the main thing, if the government is really even coming after our taxes, when we are very far away from home, we also need to ask for proper service delivery from the same government which want to get something from us.
Yes.
And having the embassy, which is situated in Pretoria, this is where KEDASA is coming in, because the embassy in Johannesburg, they are not able to reach to as many Kenyans in South Africa as possible, you know. Number one, I'm not even sure whether the embassy, they have the exact, not even the exact number or the estimate of how many Kenyans that are living in South Africa, because mostly we don't see much from our government. But with the new government, we don't know what is in store. They have shown a lot of interest in diaspora.
Yes.
And I think it's better to get ourselves organized. And this is where now the whole KEDASA thing is coming in.
Yes.
Paul. Yeah, I think I would also comment on that because it's very important.
Yeah, I think you haven't introduced yourself fully.
Yes. My name. I didn't introduce myself.
I think he did.
Okay.
I did introduce myself.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very important that now we have a desk for the diaspora, because what is happening now, the board that you're talking about today, KEDASA, it is there for the last 10 or 11 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Precise,
Yeah. And we haven't seen any impact that is coming to the ground. And to talk on that, when you say about the taxes and everything else that we are double taxed when you go home,
yes,
we should also consider now that we have one consular in South Africa, which is not able to take care of all our citizens here, to services and do all that. So for me, I would say that it is the right time now, but we should also look at our leadership. Yeah.
On the same note, there is this feeling of the disconnect on the social media, where we have seen a lot of Kenyans, they are not happy with the leadership, those who are contesting for the leadership. And if you have read the book by Chinua Achebe, called A Man of the People, there is the book is full of situation, the irony. Okay, so it feeds, and there are two characters on the book. There is Samalu Odili, and there is Chief Nanga, and one is protagonist and the other antagonist. So my question is, they feel like the leaders we are going to elect in this forum in KEDASA, are they there for the common wananchi? Are they there? Are they going for those seats because of the remuneration, the seating allowance, or are they really going to represent Kenyans in various regions?
Yeah.
You can
I'll tell you
that.
the truth, what is happening at the moment. We are still in those ages where people are leading us and deciding for us and making decisions for us. And I think that's why we are here today to discuss about what is going to happen about our leadership with KEDASA. Because remember now what is happening for the last 8 years. We never had KEDASA. KEDASA never came to the ground to tell us. Actually, people doesn't even know what is KEDASA even today, even after 10 years. So what I'm saying is, the leaders that we need at the moment are leaders that are going to deliver, leaders that have integrity, leaders that are honest, leaders that are going to make sure that they follow the vision of KEDASA, they follow the constitution, and when they do that, without looking at themselves in terms of whether they are going there to be paid or not, then I think we are going to have a good organization that is going to lead our community to the next level and to make sure that at least something is coming back to our community.
Yeah. On the
Peter,
same...
Maybe to add on what Kagiri is saying there. Okay, first of all, let's agree, whatever happened with KEDASA in the last 12, 13 years happened. Choba came, he founded this great organization, and then Bwana Kamato came in as the chairman, I think around 2016 there, or 2017, I'm not sure, and then until now. But the way Pastor and Kagiri, they are saying, we have not felt KEDASA in the ground. KEDASA have remained a briefcase kind of organization where like it's in the pocket maybe of the few people, or the people who are running it are not in the ground. And what we are looking for as we go to the election this time round, we want KEDASA to be felt right in the ground. Because some of us, Bona Peter, we have been here for about 20 years, more than half of our lives. Therefore, we need politically and through representation, we need a body which can represent Kenyans in South Africa well, not as the KEDASA that we have had for the last few years and stuff. But we don't want to point figures.
There's something I want to bring in. And I want to thank Dr. Chomba for the vision. He was one of the pioneers with many others. And when KEDASA was registered as an NPO, and then we had the leadership of Bwana Kamato, who is the current chairman. And I happen to be in the leadership as the treasurer. I must say that Mr. Kamato did quite well in terms of awareness, because previously, and we must give credit where it's due, Chomba did well in registration of the NPO. The person who really made KEDASA known, you can attest to that, is Bwana Kamato. He did quite well, and he came to Western Cape. But now, and that's what I've been saying, that KEDASA is in the infant stage. We have been crawling. We need now to start standing and walking.
Yeah.
And the new leadership on AKA needs now to take KEDASA to the next stage. And this is where now I'm bringing the issue of the situation irony. The leaders, and I'll ask each one of you to give us your views on this. We can't have leaders seeking leadership to benefit. It's not right. Morally, it's wrong.
Yeah.
So the kind of the caliber of leaders we need leaders who can deliver. Now, and Bona AK, and I think we had a discussion some previous time back where we were saying that Bona Chomba advocating for online election, it has its own hindrance, because we cannot elect some. Kenyans don't know each other. We have Kenyans in Pumalanga, we have Kenyans in Eastern Cape, some are in Western Cape. Not unless you are really in the realm, in the social, some might not even know. Paul Kagiri, you might have some people in Western Cape, in Eastern Cape who don't know you. So what we are saying, or my view on this, is that we should have leaders from region, upward. And those are the terms that KEDASA, the current KEDASA has given. And Mr. Paul, you have a point to add to that?
What I would just add is, remember KEDASA is an NPO. So when you talk about the leaders that we should have today, it's not people who want to enrich themselves. You must come and be our chairman and make sure that you are working for the community. You don't want to enrich yourself. And this is what has happened. You all know the rumors that are going on the grassroots at the moment. That what has been happening for the last 8 years is just a few people who have been enriching themselves or who have been benefiting.
Yes.
Look, we have been having a lot of dignitaries coming here. Our deputy president, our president came, and what we have been hearing is just things that we cannot speak on today. So I think the integrity of our leaders of tomorrow must be at.
So to add on that, on what Kagiri is saying here, you have even noticed, even the embassy themselves, I think they can confess that even when they have a leader coming, either in Cape Town or Johannesburg, they are not able, we don't have that body which they can communicate to and tell KEDASA, okay, no, we have the deputy, like I think on December, we had a deputy president here in Cape Town who visited only some few places and he went to church there with Pastor Rob there. But if we had a KEDASA which was working, we could have mobilized our people to come and put our deputy president, maybe on a podcast like this one, and ask them, what are they doing for us in that?
So, Bona Alan, just make us understand, are you advocating that KEDASA should be so strong in our region to a point that it should be the body, the first contact body with embassy?
Actually, I'm not advocating. That's what it is. I was at the embassy about 5 weeks ago, and the only organization that we have as Kenyans in South Africa, which is recognized by the High Commission, is KEDASA. And we keep on hearing like, okay, we have a body which is representing us. We don't even know who are these people who are representing. I'm sure a lot of people, they are not even going to tell that you are the current treasurer for KEDASA. Because what happened is that, we don't want to point fingers, but we have to point where the mistake came in KEDASA. We had some few leaders who took KEDASA and made business with KEDASA like it's for them. Now, what we are looking for, we want to see when you come to Cape Town, when you go to Johannesburg, when you go to Bloemfontein, Eastern Cape, we want KEDASA to be felt.
Okay. On the same note, what kind of a leader? And I'll start with the chairman. When we are seeking the chairmanship of KEDASA, what kind of qualities should, and Pastor, you'll help us in this. I think, Mr. You should continue, then Pastor.
Maybe I think
Pastor
can bring
some
anointing a little bit on the leader.
Just help us understand. Help us understand in terms of the issues of integrity, transparency, and accountability. Because one huge problem we have as Kenyans is that most of us want dodgy deals. They don't want to be accountable, they don't want transparency, and they don't want integrity. And this has been seen. And if you read on the WhatsApp group, you can see the sentiment with people. The people are not happy. They are saying they are not happy. This is not a leader. He has conned me. Those are allegations. I can't substantiate them, but they are just allegations. So when we are seeking someone to be the chairman of KEDASA, and this is one of the person holding one of the highest office in in terms of Kenyan in South Africa. And remember, I said it's more of a constituency, so it's going to. There should be some donation coming into KEDASA. So what kind of a leader should we elect?
Thank you for that question, and thank you for every other contribution. And there's a African saying that says, a weak head will always trouble innocent legs.
Yes.
An organization is as strong as its leader. And having said so, integrity is also another very profound thing that every leader should have. And you gave an example of Chinua Achebe. One thing I picked from there is the man of the people.
Yes.
And that's the kind of leader that we need. A leader who understands what is happening to the people in the grassroots, who understand their cry, who understand their needs. And not only just a leader by title, but he should lead from the front. Should lead by example. We don't want somebody to appear because from nowhere. So we are looking at a tested leader. Have you worked with the people? Have you been there in the community? And what is your score? Because now, as we ask about the people who are coming and then decide to have positions and all those titles, how are you going to vet them? You can unvet them from yesterday going back. What did they do yesterday? What is their passion with the people? Do we see them in the wananchi platforms and needs when we need them?
Yes, I think.
PK, I think even to add on what Pastor is saying.
Yes.
We need leaders we can hold accountable.
Yes.
And one thing to hold leaders accountable, we need to know who are these leaders. Because one thing I can tell you for sure,
yes.
the current KEDASA chairman, you might be surprised, maybe even 80% of Kenyans living in South Africa, if they meet with a guy maybe here in the street, they're not going to tell you this is the KEDASA chairman, because we have not felt KEDASA at all in the ground. So what Pastor is saying, we need a man who is right there in the ground. And we need to create more platform. And I really want to thank you guys, for organizing this podcast, because this is what we want to see happening throughout the country. Like now, if you check in the group there, in the WhatsApp group,
yes.
there is a guy, I think his name is Ben. I don't know from which region is he coming from. He wants to be a chairman and everything. I mean, what do we elect? Do we just elect a WhatsApp number? You come there, you say your name is so-and-so, and how do we vet you? Because that's what Pastor is trying to talk about, So we want all these leaders who are saying they want to be leaders, I know one of the top contenders, Mr. B, and I think we need to invite him very soon on this podcast, where we can come and talk about KEDASA issues. Because if you want to be our leader, we need to hold you accountable, And that's what we have been telling even people in Bloemfontein, like the leaders that we are going to elect to represent even the region. These people, they need to be accountable. Yes. And they need to come in the public platform and we vet them the way Pastor is saying.
Yes, okay. And just to...
Yes, Paul, yes.
Look, let's say Mr. Peter was in KEDASA as a treasurer. I think he should also tell us what was happening there, because now when we look at the leaders that are going to represent us there, he can also give us what is happening in KEDASA at the moment, so that at least most of us can learn from this organization.
From the organization.
What happened?
So what has happened is that I will call Pastor's words, the organization, the vision bearer should be the chief executive or the chairman. And there has been, I wouldn't want to point fingers, but KEDASA has been more of a dead body going, because there isn't much that has been happening in terms of we don't have funds. And this is a very important issue, is that any organization, I'm an accountant by profession, any organization that cannot generate income, how are you even going to spend, accomplish whatever you want to accomplish? So there's no money. I'm the treasurer, I'm the national treasurer, but there's no money. The funds that have been there, it was just to cater for bank charges. So we need a leader, the new leadership that's coming in, whoever is going to be a leader, to actually to be able to have means and ways of generating donation or revenue for the organization, so that the impact of Kenyans in South Africa can be seen. And Alan, me and you, Okay, we have been in the forefront in the cultural matter.
Yeah.
We have brought Kenyan musicians.
Yeah.
Okay, that kind of leadership is what we want. Cultural. If you look at the manifesto of KEDASA, it says here celebrating our rich cultural heritage and contributing to the betterment of our community. So, us as Kenyans, us as a people, how are we able to actually make us prosper while still holding our heritage as a people in South Africa?
PK,
Yes.
just to come in there, you will even be surprised that these KEDASA have been actually absolutely useless, if I might say in quote, because we have even in Johannesburg, in Gauteng, and this is what we must fight. From Western Cape, from Eastern Cape, any region we have in this country, KEDASA must not be for Gauteng people. And we have this kind of a big brother mentality from our brothers and sisters from Johannesburg and Pretoria, where they feel like, maybe they are next to the Balozi there and the High Commission, and they feel like they need to run this thing. KEDASA must be felt in the ground. I can tell you, they normally have what they call maybe a Kenyan day in Johannesburg under KEDASA. I went there by the embassy and I was surprised to hear like the outgoing chairman saying that they used to hold these heritage kind of days and stuff. Kenyans currently,
the other regions, they didn't know that that's happening.
That's why I'm saying, even you see, like for him, being the treasurer, but most surprising is that even the transaction which were happening within KEDASA, the head of treasury department, he was unaware.
I was unaware.
And I think we saw that on COVID time.
Yes.
We are only seeing on the Facebook platforms that only food that is in Pretoria and how.
Well, on the issue during the COVID, I would like just to air. I wasn't entirely happy on how it went down, but there was only 5,000 that was allocated to Western Cape. 5,000 during COVID. Okay, and the other amount was distributed in Gauteng and Pretoria. I wasn't happy, and I raised the issue. And with no fear and contradiction, I raised the issue with the current leadership. And that's why, Bwana Alan, I'm saying we need leaders who we are able to tell you are doing wrong. It can't be you can't be running organization as if it's your own company. This is not a private company. So the leaders, even Mr. B, I hope he sees if he happens to win. He must. If I will be there under his treasurer, because I'm contesting for treasurer position again, I would be in a position to tell him, it's wrong, because there are internal controls that should be in place when you're dealing with an organization it's public. And remember, as an MP, it's supposed to be audited. So you as a leader, you cannot just do things on your own. And when it's done, now is when you're doing damage control by telling us this is what you have happened. You want to add something?
To add on that point, transparency need to be there within KEDASA. That's what PK is trying to say. Because, like you said, during COVID, Western Cape was allocated 5,000, and we don't know what was allocated in Johannesburg or other regions. But the fact that there is no transparency, even if it was 200, which was given by the embassy or the donors, we say, okay, we have 200 rand, we have given Western Cape 50 rand, then if there was a transparency, no one could be accusing the other. And I think the main thing, Peter, even with the current leadership and the chairman, I feel sorry for him, and I wish before the election are done, he can come out and hold a podcast and explain himself, because a lot of people, they have been accusing him of a lot of things, of not running the organization well, and but now the fact that things were not done in a transparent manner, that's why people, they can accuse.
I just want to clear, I wouldn't want it to be taken wrongly by the viewer. Not that the money was not properly allocated, the allocation was a problem, because there's no way you can allocate Gauteng and Pretoria about 20,000 and then you allocate Western Cape 5,000 and the other region you don't allocate. That's where the issue was. Not that the money was misappropriated, no, but the allocation, the initial sitting down and saying this is what we are going. Did you involve all the stakeholders, the NEC? Because that's why we are lacking. And now when you don't involve, when there is no transparency, the issue now goes back to transparency, integrity, Did you involve in the planning stage? Or do you do things, then later tell us this is what you did? And that's where the issue comes in.
Maybe we can ask you that question because you have been there in the leadership. I don't know. Do we even have an official email for KEDASA You know, and the embassy, the High Commission in Pretoria, we need to tell them right in the face what you guys have been doing also, because we can blame those people who have been there in KEDASA, but I mean, they could not have done whatever was done if the embassy was not involved. The embassy need to stop dealing with individuals.
Yeah.
You understand? We saw when Uhuru Kenyatta came in Eastern Cape during that ANC event, which was happening in East London.
Yeah.
I mean, the Kenyans who are KEDASA came in as a representative of the embassy, and they had to organize vehicles, you know, to run the president up and down. And it's only one person doing this. PK, I don't know whether as a treasurer you are also involved in because if there is such, because I call it a tender, you know, if the president is coming, any diplomat.
Okay, I will cut you short.
We're going to come down.
Let me explain to you what has been happening, and this would be my wish that KEDASA becomes strong in all regions, and anything that the embassy does, and I think the embassy needs to take a serious letter right now, that they don't deal with individuals, because we know in Gauteng who KEDASA deals with who.
Yeah.
We know in Western Cape KEDASA deals with who. So mostly it deals with Pastor Robert, and we are saying he does a commendable job. He does, but for us to have a strong KEDASA, could we have a KEDASA in Western Cape that is so strong that everything goes through KEDASA? And all that, I'm sure with donation and revenue being donated to KEDASA, we could have offices that are paying, that are financed.
We have admin people working in those offices.
Working in those offices, rather than have, Paul, rather than have individual that embassy is dealing with.
Yeah.
Because what's the need of KEDASA? Again, if we can empower KEDASA in Western Cape to have a region and an office. We have it in Free State, an office that's running. If people, there are issue of papers, they have KEDASA there.
Yeah.
In KwaZulu-Natal, they have KEDASA. That's the only way to make KEDASA. And we are not saying that people shouldn't get these tenders or shouldn't get these jobs. They can. But can it, and this is what we are talking about.
Can it be available to all Kenyans?
All Kenyans, through KEDASA.
Yeah.
Because,
you know,
I mean, if the embassy is coming in to deal with one specific person, and this is these are being the biggest failure for KEDASA, you know, because the embassy decided to only be dealing with these people. I was explaining to you what happened in Eastern Cape.
Yes.
It was a total chaos because, I mean, if there was a KEDASA which was working in Eastern Cape,
yeah.
The embassy could have contacted the KEDASA in Eastern Cape
office.
Yeah, you know, the president is coming to East London for 2-3 days, and we need 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 within our Kenyan community, who can provide these things. But what was happening? It was the people in Eastern Cape, the Kenyans who are there,
yeah.
were dealing with KEDASA chairman. It's like
I think that
KEDASA chairman
the
is the one who's
problem that
giving
you're
you the
having.
tender.
Yes,
I think that is the problem that you're having because of the structures.
Yes, okay.
At this moment in time, we are having people that are campaigning for the elections. Now, we are seeing that the regions are being contacted. But previously, you could not see people contacting the regions for any other reason. But just because they are now interested to get the votes and all that, or to show their accountability.
And that's why I'm saying it's looked like a situation irony. Back to the Chenua Chembe.
Yeah.
Chief Nanga was there as a politician just because he was benefiting to be a politician.
Yeah.
And yet the plight of his people, they were still suffering and selling lies. You know, that's why I'm saying, if we are going to elect leaders into leadership and they're coming from Mashinani, could they actually, and Pastor, back to your words, have they been tested? Have you been seen? Can we say, we call Pastor, he comes, he's there, you know, to give us a spiritual nourishment, to help in the community? Can we say we know Pastor Musili in Western Cape? Can we say, Paul, if we call you, if we say you are leader in Western Cape, can people say we know Paul in Bloemfontein, in Free State, Alan? If you are asked, are you a leader? Have you been there? But and this is the disconnect also that we have. We have social classes, and this is borrowed back from Kenya. People feel just because they have certain have certain professions, they have certain education, they are not able to mingle with the normal Kenyans. You understand? So KEDASA should be a vehicle that actually brings all Kenyans together. And if that is the manifesto, as per the mission and vision of KEDASA, are we able to put leaders who bridge the gap between this whole the diversity that we have? We have to talk about the tribalism also, the diversity. Alan, it's there. We can't run away from that. That we need, is KEDASA going to narrow the bridge? You know, we can't bring those tribalism issues back here, here in South Africa. And, you know, it worries me that someone is still thinking in his tribal mind, and yet you're in South Africa. You have left Kamagendo, you have left, you know.
Actually, when the unfortunate thing like xenophobic they happen, and we are beaten as foreigners and staff or Kenyans, they don't come asking whether are you a Kikuyu, so that maybe I don't hit you. So once we are in this country, and I'm not saying we should not have all the, we should definitely look into the whole, I mean, we should have leaders from all the tribes, you know, accommodated in KEDASA. But if you can check what is happening on the main WhatsApp group for KEDASA there, you know, there have been even the tribal kind of politics, which we don't need in this country.
I think we'll shift the gear now and talk about the issue of diversity and inclusivity. And you know, it's a very thorny area, and it's also there is a thin line and, you know, sensitive area to really consider when these leaders, we are putting them there, because it will be very, and also gender equality. We don't want to be seen, it's a fact that one community has numbers, but also we have to balance. But again, we can, and you know, this is the issue I saw in the group. We cannot go handpicking people from their houses just because to fit the diversity. The equation.
No, we must not do that.
We can't do that.
Leaders are leaders.
Leaders are leaders.
We are not going to go and
but we need to bring
looking for a certain
inclusivity.
Yeah, but I think even the constitution for KEDASA, even the way they covered the issue of Mayfair and the Somalis that we do have in Johannesburg, KEDASA have tried actually to accommodate Kenyans from all kind of regions and stuff. But I think what will benefit us more here is not the tribe, is the region. You know, once we are in Western Cape, this is our tribe. PK, if I'm here for the last, if I'm here with you for the last 20 years, I mean, I should consider you as a Kenyan, not as from the other tribe, because the problems which we go through, the challenges that we face,
doesn't see the tribal color.
They don't see. It doesn't. Exactly. Maybe Pastor, you can.
I think just thank you so much for the opportunity. Just to weigh in there, I think you are very bold to say that, knowing where you are coming from and the numbers behind you. But I think every leader will be fortunate to get an opportunity to be part of KEDASA. First and foremost, must understand the spirit and the letter of the founder of KEDASA, because everything is there. What we lack is the implementation, execution of what the visionary had when he came up with KEDASA. And you touched something very important in terms of inclusivity and diversity. The moment we board our plane, we take our bus, and we move out of the boundaries of Kenya, we are Kenyans. We have not said that we forget our roots. But the moment you are just as you're saying, I mean, your brother doesn't count because you don't live here. Much is your brother. Your brother is the person that you are living with. And again, in that issue of diversity and inclusivity, we need to touch on gender. We don't want something that is just led by men. We need the women to come up. In terms of inclusivity, we want our young one, because tomorrow will be old, who will pick the leadership from us. We want to engage our students, to engage young people and bring on board, because KEDASA is a nice vehicle, but it needs to be full.
On the same point, I would like you to really maybe to give us some guideline in terms of KEDASA achieving this, in your own views. And anyone is welcome to really chip in right now. Could you give us some guideline, and it could be a counsel you're giving to the new leadership. What are the means of doing this? How would they implement these to ensure there's inclusivity and diversity, and the manifesto, you know, achieving the manifesto, you know, and a working KEDASA. We want KEDASA to be a working horse. We want to see the impact. That's what should happen on the ground. We want, when KEDASA is mentioned, it's known. That's a really organization that's lobbying for the rights of Kenyans, and it's actually there for Kenyans. It will be a refuge that every Kenyan can run to and say, I know I'll get some help from KEDASA. What are the ways, Bona?
I think I'll say two things,
Yes.
and I've already said one.
Okay.
We need to understand the letter and the spirit of the visionary.
Okay.
Because everything is articulated there.
Yes.
The objectives are there. Then the second thing to add on that is patriotism. We need to be patriotic enough
Yes.
to be brothers keepers.
Oh, good.
Because what is the joy if something comes from where it is coming from, but it doesn't reach to somebody who deserves it?
Thank you
more
for
than-
putting, let's shift the gear now. Bona,
Yes.
Paul Kagiri,
Yeah.
just briefly before we go to break,
Yeah.
just touch on patriotism and what should Kenyan diasporans should do to achieve these and still remain relevant as Kenyans in South Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when we speak about KEDASA, we speak about bringing the community together of the Kenyan identity. So I think what KEDASA should do is to make sure that every other region, they are having like an office.
Okay.
Because I'll give you an example. We are having an education at Achi that are in Joburg. We have our children coming from our country, coming here to be students in the universities. They don't have anywhere to go if they have problems or if they are stranded. We are having so many people that struggle here and they don't have work. We have met people in Belleville who are sleeping on the street. They don't have anywhere to go. So I think when we have a regional office, that will open up for our people to understand the meaning of KEDASA and our community where they should go. It will help us too much to understand everything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alan, you want to add
Just
something?
to add on that, maybe before we go for the break, we are not trying to fix KEDASA actually for ourselves. We are the first generation Kenyan in South Africa, majority of us, We have seen kids who are born here, our own kids turning 18, 20 years, going to varsity and everything. Kids who are born, they are undocumented and they don't know where to run to. It's not like us who came and everything was a bit easier by those days. Nowadays, even to obtain a proper work permit, student permit, it's a process, So a well-working KEDASA it might not benefit us as such, but the second and the third generation Kenyans in this country. Because, we have Kenyans who went to US in 1956. For now, we have almost a fourth generation of Kenyans in US, and these people are well organized. If we don't leave a platform to the next coming generation of the Kenyan, we will, let's leave a proper KEDASA for the second and third generation. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we'll take a break, and then when we come back, we have another leader. We welcome to the panel. See you then. Welcome back to the forum, and right now I would like to introduce another member to the panel, and one of the leaders from Western Cape, Moses Muragori. Karibu sana. Welcome and introduce yourself, please.
Thank you so much, Bona PK. My name's Moses Muragori Karu. I'm well known in the Western Cape as Mura Things, and it's good to be here. Thank you so much. Asante.
Okay, Asante. Thank you. I would like us now to change the focus and really go to elections, to discuss the topic regarding the upcoming elections. And Bona Alan.
Yes.
I heard that you're contesting. Is it true?
Currently in Free State, I'm one of the nominees for the chairmanship.
Yes.
We are going to conduct our elections on Monday.
You haven't?
And, no, we haven't. We are two nominees for the chairman,
Yes.
2 for the deputy, and 2 for the...
You're sure you're going to win?
You must wish me that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, now with the current constitution that we have, KEDASA constitution, do you think it's fair? We are going to have a fair and a clean election?
I think the current constitution, for now I can say it's okay for now, because KEDASA have not failed because of the constitution. it failed maybe because the people who are there, they didn't want to implement what the constitution is saying.
Yes.
So definitely the new incoming National Working Committee will have to look into so many areas in the constitution, because as the organization grows, definitely we need to change a lot of things here and there.
On the same issue, there was a meeting called by the embassy of all leaders in Pretoria.
Yes.
And there was a huge disagreement on because the current regime was saying the elections were due to be held in November. And there was a disagreement, and the need for an interim body was formed to usher a new leadership, which I think both of us are members.
Yeah.
And on that note, do you think, because I think a lot of Kenyans who are following these on the forum, there is a feeling of dissatisfaction, okay? Like they are not involved. What are your take on the matter? And, you know, I would like you to contribute, then I bring in...
Yes, okay, to just say, to just add on that, I was in that meeting which happened at the High Commission, and I saw some people in Bloemfontein asking, who appointed this interim committee? Because it's the interim committee which was given the mandate to come and, together with the outgoing leadership, to go and conduct the elections.
Yes.
Know? So a lot of people, they were asking, who appointed them? But we should even be thanking them, because it's them who went to the High Commission and told Madam Balozi straight in the face that, I mean, KEDASA have not done election for 6 years. We were supposed to have, you guys were supposed to have conducted election three, almost 4 times now, but it didn't happen. But the people who went to Pretoria, they went with one mission. They told the High Commission.
I would like to interject a bit.
Yeah.
When you say KEDASA had not held the election for 6 years, and my question is, why the need now, at the moment when they had a word going that the Kenyan government is more involved or has an interest of having KEDASA on the diaspora on board? Is there a motive behind the whole?
I can't say it's because of what is happening in Kenya. It's because of the pressure in the ground. Kenyans, they came to realize that we have a body which is representing us, and we asked for the constitution of that body. They are supposed to have election every 2 years, and they have not happened. And I think the pressure came with, we have a very big number of Kenyans who really want to take control of whatever is happening in KEDASA, and that's where the pressure came in.
I think the reason why the elections were not held, if you can correct me, remember we had the issue of COVID. It's one of the issues. There was the issue of COVID.
Yes.
I raised that point, and people are not really happy with it. But I think there was an issue of COVID, which really, Moses, I'll give you a chance, just now. I think there was an issue of COVID that really is, Alan is not happy with that issue.
Bwana Kagiri,
you see what is happening? I'll tell Peter. Look, it shows how KEDASA is unpopular in South Africa. That's why you see now people are now coming up. And when we speak about the desk of the diaspora being now on the table, now people want to fight for it. Because remember we spoke when we came here about the integrity of the leadership.
Yes.
So all these things coming together are the ones that are making the uproar of the people. Because KEDASA was not well.
But how do you have now, how do you make the awareness if the organization has no funds? That's one thing. Because there's no way, I'll give you an example, Alan and everyone. I've been involved in those meetings. We go back to our pocket and pay the ticket to Johannesburg, to attend those meetings. So if the organization itself, and it's an issue we need to talk about, if the organization itself has no funds, how can it even be able to cater for traveling allowance for its officials? I think it's a gray area, and it's an area that we need to really look at. And the new leadership that will come in, they really need to think on the issues of finances. But now let's hear Moses.
Actually, what I wanted to add on is, as per what my colleague have said, it's all about pressure from the ground. And we as Kenyans community, we ask ourselves, why haven't we had election for the last 8 years or 6 years? Actually, to be frank, I think this is the first time KEDASA will be doing the elections, because as per my understanding is that most of the leaders who are in KEDASA were nominated in different regions. So this is the term we're going to be having elections, and this is the term now the normal mwananchi or the normal Kenyan in South Africa will have an opportunity to elect a leader that he knows is an integrity leader, honest leader, and transparent leader. When it comes in terms of funds, why KEDASA doesn't have funds, we should look at the root cause why KEDASA doesn't have funds. It starts with the leadership. If the leadership is not right, then KEDASA itself or the body itself, it won't have funds. So we need, first of all, to elect people who know where the body that's
you have raised a very good point, and I think what you are really bringing on is a conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest, thank
you.
I
think Bwana Alan and everyone will bear me with this. We need leaders to have a declaration, because there's no way we can have leaders who are doing the same business KEDASA would do with the embassy. I think, if I'm wrong, I beg to be corrected, but I think this is where now the issue of conflict of interest is popping up, and people are not able to serve the Kenyan community because their interests come first. Because there's no way, if there are tenders, you end up having those tenders of those opportunities, the opportunities that should have been run by KEDASA.
And just to come in, and that is the real issue why we didn't have elections, because there are some people who didn't want election to happen. The issue of COVID, I think we should stop talking about COVID anymore. We had one of the biggest economy in the world, or democracy, which is US of A, conducting elections in the middle of pandemic, in 2020. And then we have KEDASA, which is only 18 members who are going to Pretoria to elect the national, the NEC, saying that even now, blaming COVID almost in 2024. So I think it goes back to the point, the people who are there, and I want to thank those leaders that we have had there before, Bwana Kagiri, they brought KEDASA, Bwana Kamato brought KEDASA to the people, but the real transaction of KEDASA was not brought to the people. The same thing South Africans, they are fighting for. They say, no, 1994, you guys, you give us freedom. But where is the money? Where is the wealth? Where is the transaction? And I think that's what happened with KEDASA. KEDASA was taken to the regional leaders, and I can tell you, all those regional leaders we have had from Eastern Cape, guys like Timodo, Free State, Tioko Donye, all these people, they didn't know absolutely what is happening in KEDASA. And that's what we must change.
Yeah, I think that is very good when you speak about that, especially Alan and him, because you guys are vying for those big positions.
Yeah.
So when you speak about this, I think you will at least demonstrate to us your manifesto very well, so that at least because you know what is eating the KEDASA as an organization, then we should have leaders that first understand the challenges that went through and what we should probably implement to bring the impact.
I think this is captured very well by Albert Einstein when he said insanity is doing the same thing again and again and expecting different results. So those contesting and those who want to hold offices in KEDASA, they really need to have manifestos, their personal manifesto, and those manifestos to align with KEDASA manifestos, because there's no way you can work outside the scope of the mission and the vision of organization. And on this, there's something I really I heard Bwana Alan mention, and I think it's a gray area. The Constitution states that 9 of issues, and according to Article 7 of KEDASA Constitution, that representing all the provinces, that to have a slot in the per province to vie for a position in NEC. So when you talk about 18 members, 18, does it mean it's going to be 2 per province or it's 1? I think there is a gray area that, and again, just 1 minute. Again, I think limiting that to 1 person per province, nominee per province, I think that is unfair. It's a little bit unfair. I think because it's a nomination, I think it's my view, my personal view. It should be taken, the number should be go up to 2.
Okay, PK, I think there you are missing, I mean, the people who are going to Pretoria, to my understanding, and I think Bona SG, Mr. Isaac, he need to come to the podcast and explain all these. We cannot be explaining about KEDASA and we have not been there. So I think the people who have been there, the people who founded the constitution, they need to come and, because even what is happening in the KEDASA main WhatsApp group, people, they are confused. I saw people, I saw some comment there, people saying, hey, no, I will vote for so and so. I can tell you, in that WhatsApp group of about 900 Kenyans, they think they will vote. SG came to that group and told everyone, go back to your region, give us the delegates. The delegates are the one who are going to come and give the delegates the mandate. Those are the people who are going to go and vote and this is where PK is missing the point.
But I'm reading as per the constitution.
No, per the constitution.
Per the notice, sorry.
Yes, you are only reading the first part. The first part, we have 9 representatives. Those will be elected.
Those are nominated nominee from the provinces.
Those are office bearers. No, the nominee from provinces, as per my understanding, there are 18 nominees. And I think even Bona SG, he did explain that in the interim group. There are 18, there are 2 people who will be going to as delegates, you know.
Per province?
Per province, okay? Remember, it's not 9 people who are
okay, the position available, it's for 9 people. The neck, that will form the neck. Okay, but now we shift to that and we shift to how many nominees should the province give? Is it 9? Is it 2 nominees? 2. Or 1?
It's 2.
No, I think the question you should be asking.
Don't confuse with the
when we leave
working committee.
No.
National Working Committee.
Let's start from there.
Yes.
When we Western Cape 2 delegates, they leave here to go to Pretoria.
Yes.
To go and vote.
Yes.
They will go 2 people. Okay, those are the delegates. National Working Committee, 18 members. Then those 2 people. Per province is given 1 slot.
1 slot.
And actually, I don't know whether it's given.
Okay? Now, if those 2 are going to vote, you're saying are 2, okay? Are they eligible to stand?
Yes, we can have one going for the chairmanship, another one going for deputy treasurer, you know, and both of them, they are still in.
I think it's a gray area that our SG needs to really, because from my understanding is that the National Working Committee is made up of the regional chair and the deputy chair, who are elected in the regional, and then they elect one person or they nominate one person to go vie in the neck. Though these two, the chair and the chairperson, the chair and the vice chairman, vice chair per constitution, per province, they'll be voting.
Before we give the other panel this side, we have Limpopo and Mpumalanga.
Yes.
Yesterday we saw that they gave us their 3 officials in the region, because it's one region. Limpopo and Mpumalanga, they fall under one region.
Yes.
And you can see clearly what SG said. SG said, now we have the 3 officials from that region, and automatically out of those 3, they will appoint the 2 delegates who will now go and contest for the national seat.
Okay. On the you have something to add. You had something to say.
Yes. On the same sentiment, Bona Kago was talking about. What I wanted to say, for example, because there is a lot of confusion that's and I've seen it in the group. People are getting confused. When we say we're gonna give 2 slots, do these 2 slots include those people who are vying for the chairmanship, or does it include those people who are vying for the neck? Because there are people who are gonna be on the neck, and the people who's gonna vie for the chairmanship. So there is a little bit of a confusion there, which I think Bona SG should come out and clear.
I think there is a little bit of confusion, which our current SG from Durban, Bona Isaac Idenji, should really maybe come out and really explain this to.
Invite him on the pod
Yeah,
show,
on-
man.
on-
We come here and we
Yeah,
have a
yeah,
conversation.
yeah.
We don't want these KEDASA people who are just everywhere. Even Mr. B, I mean, you have his contact number.
Yes.
Tell him the podcast is open, you know.
I think everyone that, because now we are like almost not like we are actually in the election mode.
Yeah.
I think it's good for every contestant who is contesting for any seat. They should think of really talking to the people so that they can sell their manifestos and tell us whether their manifestos are aligning with the KEDASA manifesto and what they are going to do for the Kenyans in South Africa.
I think it is also good that when leaders are now going to the podcast, and most of the people now will understand what KEDASA can do.
Yes. Exactly, I
We
agree.
we will also understand what kind of leaders who are coming for the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that we are in a better position to know exactly who are we going to either nominate or who are we going to choose as our leader.
Yeah.
So I think being on the podcast will educate a lot of people and also give us a lever on how we can get quality of leaders.
Yes.
And on the same note, on the same note, what he's saying, I think when it comes to KEDASA, we need a leaders whereby they are easy accessible, you know, because on the ground we have different. Kenyans are facing different challenges, and they want people that they can talk to. We have from, you can name it, from documentation, going towards doing business, getting different services. Even sometimes people, they feel going to the embassy, it's just an hassle just to get you are right, like just to get a passport, you know. People, they don't know how to go about it. But once we have a body like this, and we elect leaders who are very accessible and who can talk to people, we will make things easier for our own Kenyan.
Yeah, just to a little bit shift the topic, but still aligning to what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think what you're talking about is a civic education, you know, because we have a situation where it seems Kenyans don't understand that what KEDASA can do and cannot do, you know, can achieve and cannot achieve within South Africa, you know, because this is a different country. We are Kenyans, we are foreigners in this country. So there are issues or there are matters that KEDASA is limited as an organization. Because I saw someone who was talking about KEDASA assisting with funeral and paperwork.
illness, if you are sick.
So you know, we need civic education, and this awareness. We need the upcoming leadership. They need to think on how they can hold forums, either online forums or face-to-face forum, where they go all over the country educating Kenyans. Okay, this is what KEDASA does, and this is what KEDASA can achieve. You know, if you become a member. And that's where now I really need us to discuss a bit before we come back to the issue of election. Bwana Alan, what is your view on KEDASA in terms of registration of members? Should this, we know KEDASA is an umbrella body, okay, for Kenyans right now in South Africa. Should this be an issue of chamas, the groups that we have, registering under KEDASA, or should registration of membership go as per Dr. Chomba's, what he was advocating for?
I disagree with totally with what Dr. Initially.
Yes.
I even took the whole thing to our people in Bloemfontein.
Yes.
And asked them to register, and we were registering until we realized we don't have the servers of this whole website and stuff. The main the registration of KEDASA will work through chamas. I can tell you, 90% of Kenyans living in South Africa, they belong to a certain chama. And the easiest, even the embassy, I'm disappointed that even the embassy don't know how many Kenyans we are.
Now it goes to the point
if you
of
bring all the chamas together under KEDASA, because that's what KEDASA is supposed to do.
Yes.
And we tell, okay, we have, like, let's say for example in Bloemfontein we have Kenyan for Kenyan and Umoja organization. We told them, okay, how many members are you having? Can you give us the list of, and now this can be done in the region. The national KEDASA don't have to do that. So the region, they can conduct this process. They tell the chamas, give us the list of all the Kenyans that you're having, because we need to register. The embassy need to know how many people we have.
I think on that same point, are you saying that the chairman should keep a database of their members?
No, currently, chamas
Currently, the
are-
chamas-
they do have.
yeah.
It. So should these? So once they register with KEDASA, should KEDASA be able now to have this database because the chamas are the members, or
And
should the members
remember,
be?
in a place like Bloemfontein, we have members who are of this chama and that chama.
Yes.
So the regional KEDASA
Yes.
need now to sort out that register.
Okay.
Say like in Bloemfontein, like for me, I think in Bloemfontein we are around maybe 250 to 300 Kenyans who are
Yeah.
living there, families and stuff, who have kids and stuff. So these two chamas, they can be able to register everyone.
Yeah.
But
through
now the
KEDASA.
question is,
And-
I just need him to clarify. Should now members be a chama as a member or individuals as members?
Definitely, we are in KEDASA as individual, you know, but we are our college, what they call college in US. It should be a chama, but you are registered because I mean, in case of something,
Yes.
The embassy and the KEDASA, they need to go through these chamas to reach out to the community.
Okay.
I think
Sorry, Mr. Moses. Just to add, you see KEDASA being the vehicle of every other Kenyan in South Africa.
Yeah.
It's necessary for the embassy itself to be listening to KEDASA in terms of maybe data collecting.
Yes.
You see? So that is why it is important regionally, especially this region like Cape Town, which is having a lot of people, to have an office whereby people can learn
Yes.
about KEDASA, people can register, people can know what KEDASA can do for them. You see? That's why all these regions, especially these big ones, they should have an office
Okay.
of KEDASA.
and that's what
I think that's a very important point.
And sorry, and that's what like us we discuss in terms of should we have like individuals or should we have the groups? Because on my opinion, I think KEDASA is the mother body, is the vehicle.
Yeah.
And I think for us to make work easier for the regions where KEDASA's in each region, if KEDASA works through the groups like the way Mr. Alan has suggested or you have said, it will make easier because remember, if each and every Kenyan is in a certain group, it will be easier for KEDASA. Even if when it comes to, in terms of collecting revenue for running up the office for KEDASA's office. So we know, like for example, like in Cape Town, we have some quite few groups like Millerton Kenyan community. It should give like a certain amount. You know, the member they contribute to that, then it comes to KEDASA. It comes into that, and that will make things easier rather than having individuals. Because can you imagine trying to control 1,000 people or 2,000 people, trying to get registration for each and every one of those people who would like to have service. And we Kenyans, we are very good, not like giving when we are supposed to give, but when we have a problem or something need to be sorted by a certain organization, we are quick to run. And we are quick even to throw, to paint it with mud and saying, no, those people are elected there, but they don't want to help. But yet, the funds and what is needed to run the organization is not there. And I think that's the current situation whereby we are having like the national KEDASA doesn't have funds. It's just there for the last 8 years.
So what you're
but it's
saying,
just there.
Mr. Moses, what you're trying to say is that the chairman should be registered,
Yes. with
not the
KEDASA.
members.
Yeah, no, remember, the main focus of KEDASA is the members.
Yes.
Okay, but now the person KEDASA deals with is not the member.
Yeah.
That's where the chama is coming in. And we are saying to get the easiest kind of a registration.
Yeah.
Because we, Kenyans in the ground, they are very organized.
Yeah.
These chamas here, they have been delivering.
So it
a
will
lot
be
of-
more effective.
It will be more easy.
Effective if the
For
chairmans
KEDASA,
were registered
Yeah.
under KEDASA.
So the
Under
regional,
KEDASA,
the
yes.
regional KEDASA need to
Come up
approach
with-
all these chamas. If we have a chama with more than 40 Kenyans, maybe there should be a threshold there and stuff like that. Because I mean, not every chama of every 5 guys like us sitting somewhere. Then
Yeah.
Okay, on the same issue, I would like to discuss, sorry, I'm not attacking anyone,
Okay.
but there was this registration online that was being advocated by Dr. Chomba. I'm a KEDASA official, although we were told we are there illegally, but the database is not...
but be there illegally, you are still there. Even here, we have a lot of people who are here illegally, but they are in South Africa.
So we were told we are in the office illegally. But now the question is, Dr. Chomba and the group went ahead and told Kenyans to register on the website. Now the question is, now if the database is with an individual, and Maki, I'm not saying I'm not saying they are bad people, but I'm saying there's no accountability. If your data is sold, you can't come and sue KEDASA because even you don't have the key or the keys to the website or whatever it might be. We don't have the control of the website. The website is not with KEDASA. I think there was no control, and it's a failure. I think it's one part of the failure of the current leadership, because the chairman of the current leadership would have made sure that something that's a intellectual property.
Yeah,
in
it's the same issue that he was raising previously before. When he spoke about all these readers of KEDASA, they have their personal emails.
Yes. Yeah, you mentioned.
The same thing.
Yeah. So I think that I would like you to give your views, Bwana Kagiri, on the data being collected, on the Kenyans registering on the website. I think if that website is not owned, I stand to be corrected. It's not with KEDASA. I don't think any individual should be collecting data.
No, not at all. It's not supposed to. No one is supposed to take any data for anyone as an individual.
Yeah.
If you are Kenyan and you want to be a KEDASA member, I think all your information should go to the KEDASA membership, not to any other person.
Picture this.
PK, just come in on what Bwana Kagiri is saying.
Yes.
And I wanna be honest.
Yes.
That was my main fallout with Dr. Choba.
Yes.
Because I mean, Choba is a guy with great ideas. You know, this is a guy I would like to have in my team.
Yeah.
And I wish him and the current SG.
Yes.
Even if they are not in any position, I wish they can be there as advisors.
Yes.
Because the guy
is brilliant. He has ideas. I listened to him.
Now the problem, we are not going to have another KEDASA, and that's why I was supporting Dr. Choba
for chairmanship.
Until I realized, no, the guy he wanna play it solo. You know, you come with your own website, you come with your own registration, you come with your own everything, you come with your own manifesto, and he's not even contacting the regional leaders, and that is a problem I think with KEDASA in Gauteng. They need to allow the whole country now to play this game of KEDASA. You understand?
Okay.
They must not think like, no, KEDASA is only for Pretoria and Johannesburg people and stuff. And in the next election, the coming election, I can tell you, we already have Northern Cape, Northwest, and Eastern Cape, you know, and I wish Free State and Western Cape can come on board.
Yes.
Yeah. We tell Gauteng it's not going to be...
Bona Alan, our time is really running out.
Okay.
I would like to give everyone some closing remarks, starting with Bwana Paul Kagiri.
Are we done already?
Time is flying. So I would like to give everyone a closing remark, to give 2 minutes, so that we can close. And this is not the last podcast we are having. I think we are going to have another episode. So this is a starting point. Bwana Kagiri, and also if you are contesting for any seat, please just say you are doing and what you're contesting for.
Okay, for me, I'm not contesting for any seat. I'm just going to be on the regional NEC membership.
Okay.
But I would also like to see a better KEDASA.
Thank you so much.
There has been a lot of rumors of how KEDASA has failed us.
Yes.
Yeah, because this vehicle, this KEDASA is supposed to bridge the gaps for us as the community on the ground.
Yes.
We don't see that. So we need an organization that purely is going to consider the community who is down there and who is on top there.
Thank you, Bwana Paul Kagiri.
Thank you.
Bwana Moses, 2 minutes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bwana PK. My name is Moses Muragori, all known as Murathings. I'm contesting for KEDASA chairmanship in the region of Western Cape. Watch this space. If we are elected to the office, we want to bring difference. We want KEDASA to be felt on the ground. We want people to feel free to talk to us leaders. We want to be accountable. We want to be accountable in each and every aspect. So vote for me. If you're in Western Cape, and our voting should be happening on the 30th of Saturday. That's gonna be from 6 p.m. until around 7 p.m. So we are looking forward to having you. Thank you so much, Mungu Mariki.
Bwana Alan?
I have seen the guys have used less than 30 seconds. please give me my 2-minute plan. I come from very far. Okay, to summarize this, and PK, let's do this once again.
Yeah.
Maybe with more new faces.
Panel
in the
member,
you know,
yeah.
Mr. B, I understand he's
Mr.
coming
Isaac.
to Western Cape very soon. Let him come. We sit
Pastor
on the
Robert.
podcast, you know, Pastor Robert, because I mean, and my main issue, you know, let me summarize this very quickly. We know Pastor Robert have been offering good services in Western Cape.
Yes.
You know, even some of the consular services and stuff. With the new incoming KEDASA, that should not be done by a private person. That should be a role to be played by KEDASA itself, so that we can determine the prices people they're going to pay for travel document for 123. That can be determined by KEDASA itself. It's our it's the body which is representing all of us.
Yes.
So if we have those kind of services being offered, let KEDASA take those services. You know what Pastor Robo is doing is a great job, but we need KEDASA to come and regulate the whole thing,
yes,
so that our people they can get the value for money. Moving to the election, you know, election are coming, and yes, I'm running for the chairman in Free State, and then nationally I also have an interest on the as a Free State we have the interest. Okay. On the deputy chair seat there, you know. So I think there are a lot of things to discuss, and
yes,
yeah, let's meet once again. Let's have this conversation, and we continue with the dialogue. Yeah.
Asante. Thank you, viewers. That was a conversation with leaders from Bloemfontein. That's Alan and the leaders here in Western Cape. My name is PK, and once again, this is just a start. Please let's have leaders coming and having a conversation so that we speak to our people, Kenyans in diaspora, more so in South Africa. Thank you so much. Karibuni sana. Nimesema asante. I think we should have a beer or should have a cup of coffee after this. Thank you so much.
A cup of coffee.
All right, thank you very much.
Oh God of all creation, bless this hour.